Welcome to our podcast, where we explore fascinating stories and ideas from various fields. In this episode, we will talk about how the human brain is highly contaminated by microplastics. Scientists have raised alarm after discovering microplastics in critical human organs, including the brain. They are calling for more stringent measures to control plastic pollution. A new study has found that a lot more microplastics are present in the human brain than in any other organ. The researchers describe the brain as one of the most plastic-polluted tissues yet sampled. Microplastics are pieces smaller than 5 millimeters in diameter. They have already been found in several other human organs: lungs, placentas, livers, kidneys, reproductive organs, knee and elbow joints, blood vessels, and bone marrow. Just last month, a study found microplastics in all 16 samples of bone marrow that were examined. In the latest study done by the National Institutes of Health, they found that microplastics are now accumulating in human brains. Sedat Gündoğdu, who studies microplastics at Çukurova University in Turkey, told Guardian that plastic pollution needs to be dealt with soon, and following the new research, it is now imperative to declare a global emergency. They studied the livers, kidneys, and brains of autopsied bodies and discovered microplastics in all of them. However, what is most concerning is that they found 10 to 20 times more microplastics in the 91 brain samples than the other organs. The study's lead author, Matthew Campen, a toxicologist and professor of pharmaceutical sciences at the University of New Mexico, admitted that the results were shocking. 24 of the brains collected in early 2024 measured on average about 0.5% plastic by weight. It's pretty alarming. There's much more plastic in our brains than I ever would have imagined or been comfortable with, Campen said. Another disturbing discovery was the quantity of microplastics seems to be increasing over time. Brain samples from 2024 had about 50% higher microplastics as compared to samples that date to 2016. The study that is yet to be peer-reviewed and printed also hints at a possible link between dementia and Alzheimer's disease. The brain samples of 12 people who had died of the two diseases had up to 10 times more plastic by weight than samples from healthy individuals. However, this part of the study hasn't been published online yet, as per The Guardian. Another recent study done in China found microplastics in the membranous lining of hip or knee joints of 45 patients who were undergoing hip or knee surgery. Microplastics were also found in all 23 human and 47 canine testicles in a study conducted in May. Thanks for tuning into this incredible story. If this episode resonated with you, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for more captivating stories to come. Stay tuned.
Every day from now until the election, we're giving out $1 million prize. And all you have to do is sign a petition in support of the Constitution. It's very straightforward. You don't even have to vote. You don't have to vote. You just have to sign a petition saying you believe in the Constitution, which if you already believe in the Constitution, you're just signing something you already believe, and you can win $1 million. That's awesome. You're most welcome. Yeah. So, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh.
Is there anything you want to say?
Well, thank you so much for, I truly believe everything you're doing.
Yeah.
Truly, you don't need to be doing, and I know a lot of us feel the same way. Your wealth and responsibility you are using to save speech, and we just all appreciate it. We really do. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Despite recent reports suggesting a decline in inflation, consumer confidence in the U.S. remains shaky. While the annual inflation rate showed a promising dip to around 2.4% in September, this figure masks the ongoing economic pressures that Americans face daily. Since early 2021, food prices have skyrocketed, with essentials like eggs increasing by 87%. Many Americans have grown accustomed to the idea that inflation is under control, yet the reality is far more complicated. Although the Federal Reserve aims for a 2% inflation target, many goods and services continue to weigh heavily on the consumers. Experts emphasize that some inflation indicators may look better. The situation is far from resolved. Rising household debt adds another layer of concern. While the delinquency rate is climbing and is at its highest in nearly 12 years, as consumers rely more on credit to manage everyday expenses, the risk of financial strain also looms large. Even as retail sales show slight growth, they are not keeping pace with inflation, indicating that consumer spending power is eroding. Small businesses also feel the pinch, with 23% citing inflation as the primary concern. The upcoming Fed meeting in November will be pivotal, while recent interest rate cuts aimed to ease financial conditions. Many economists caution that such measures could reignite inflation. As Americans navigate this complex landscape, the path to genuine economic stability remains uncertain.
A security camera captured the moment a private helicopter crashed into a communications tower in Houston. 4 people on board were killed, including a child, according to police. The communications tower was destroyed in the accident. The FAA will investigate the incident, according to the Houston Police Department. The NTSB is also investigating.
And a team of scientists from Hungary have developed a drone technology. It's called Swarm. This breakthrough in drone technology could reshape the future of unmanned flight. In a field near Hungary's capital, Budapest, 100 drones moved in perfect sync, guided by an algorithm inspired by nature. These autonomous drones, created by researchers in Budapest ELTE University, operate without any pre-programming or central control. This helps the drones make real-time decisions based on the collective behavior of birds and other animals. This drone technology, it's called Swarm. It's inspired by nature. Hungarian scientists have developed an algorithm that allows the drones to communicate with each other, avoid collisions, and operate entirely autonomously. The scientists say that no human control is needed once the system is set into motion.
You can make the drones autonomous enough to communicate to each other without any human control or central computer using some kind of global information processing, and this is the level what we call decentralization or decentralized systems, that when after the drones are told what to do, we can switch off the ground control station, we can burn it or whatever, throw it away, and the drones will be able to do what they have to do just by communicating to each other.
The innovative algorithm inspired by nature also allows for flexible decision-making, enabling the drones to adapt to changing weather, unexpected traffic, or communication issues. Scientists say the possibility for this technology is vast. Digital models of the drone swarm technology suggest the algorithm could manage swarms of up to 5,000 drones. This can open doors to numerous commercial and military applications. From precision agriculture to decentralized air traffic control, the technology offers the potential to revolutionize industries. Drone warfare in particular, it surged in recent years. A 2020 report highlighted that 38 nations had developed armed drone programs, a number that has likely grown as conflicts in Ukraine and Gaza showcase the expanding role of drones in modern warfare. The next phase of drone warfare is expected to be defined by greater autonomy, precision, and large-scale coordination, similar to the system that the ELTE University has developed. This explosion in drone interest comes as global warfare is entering a third age of drone warfare, defined by autonomy, increased precision, range, and full-spectrum drone warfare across land, sea, and air. Now, scientists say similar applications could be used in land surveying or goods deliveries as well, and the technology could also play a role in decentralizing air traffic control systems.
Well, right now, lots of smoke is being seen in the sky over Beirut as Israel launches its latest wave of airstrikes towards the Lebanese capital. Video shows some large explosions and fire next to Beirut's international airport. The tension is growing between the Israeli army and Hezbollah. Hundreds of people in Beirut left their homes after Israel said it was preparing attacks on sites linked to the financial operations of Hezbollah. The Israeli Defense Force has been warning about future military operations in this area.
Lifeless bodies lay bent and broken moments after another Israeli strike on a shelter for Gazan civilians displaced by the war. This ruin had been a school in a refugee camp. Israel's ramped up its attacks since killing Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar. These were his last moments of life, alone, wounded and bleeding in the shattered building. From the street, a tank took aim and fired, taking out the architect of the worst attack on Israeli soil in history. More than 1,200 people were killed and more than 250 abducted. About 100 Israelis, alive and dead, are still held hostage in Gaza. Meirav Gonen's daughter, Romi, kidnapped from the Nova Festival, is one of those hostages.
In the tunnels, without daylight, for more than a year. Can you imagine not to see your daughter for a year? I don't know how she looks like.
With the death of Sinwar, does this open the door greater for peace or for more war?
Hamas does not want peace. They want to kill us. They don't care even to kill the Gaza people. They don't care about them.
Hamas says Sinwar's death has not changed their policy regarding any possible ceasefire or hostage release. The hostages will not return to you, said Hamas's deputy chief, until Israel stops its war and totally withdraws from Gaza.
And that man you just saw could be the next leader of Hamas. That's Khalil al-Hayya, another candidate for Sinwar's successor. Could be his brother, Mohammed. There's also a former leader of Hamas who could step up. But whoever is chosen, they will likely be the next target for Israel.
The Russia-North Korea alliance is extending beyond military supplies and ammunition to North Korean boots on the ground fighting for Russia and Ukraine, all of which is being greeted by a volley of condemnation from the West. Here's a report.
It's a relationship that's expanded leaps and bounds since Putin met Kim in June and signed a military assistance pact. The West has frequently expressed concern and censure. So when Ukraine puts out word of 1,500 North Korean troops in Russia to be deployed for ground warfare inside Ukraine, the flutter multiplies. North Korean soldiers are said to be receiving training before being sent to the front line, possibly by early next month. NATO and South Korea have hit out. The US, UK, France and others have raised concern. Ukrainian President Zelensky says 10,000 North Korean troops are to be moved in, calling it an urgent development he has raised with the White House. Moscow, of course, rubbishes the reports and the censure.
North Korea, the Korean People's Democratic Republic, is our close neighbor, our partner. We develop our relations in all spheres. This is our sovereign right. Nobody should be concerned about it because this cooperation is not directed against the third countries. We are going to develop this cooperation further on.
Beyond NATO concerns on the Ukraine conflict and claims of escalation, there's the North Korea-South Korea dimension. South Korea summoned the Russian ambassador in Seoul to register strong protest. It termed the moves illegal and demanded immediate reversals.
North Korea's involvement in Russia's invasion war is a violation of UN resolutions and should be condemned as an illegal act by the international community. Furthermore, it poses a serious threat to our national security and safety of our people.
For Kim, the gains of sending troops to the Ukrainian front lines are huge. Tops, of course, is cementing the Pyongyang-Moscow alliance, besides the financial and military gain. Providing hardware and possible manpower for the Russian army almost certainly comes with a quid pro quo it needs. All of which imparts a new possible dimension to the Russia-Ukraine war. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
We earlier spoke to Peter Kuznick, who's a professor of history and director of the Nuclear Studies Institute at American University, and this is what he told us.
First of all, we've got to remember that this has not been confirmed yet. In fact, Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin and NATO Chief Mark Rutte have both said that this has not yet been confirmed. So what we know so far is Ukraine's allegations. It was part of the message that Zelensky brought to NATO in the recent deliberations and to his meeting with President Biden. So, but if it is true, then it's still not clear that it would affect the balance of power on the battlefield. Russia has been on the offensive, especially in the Donbass. And as they move closer and closer to Pokrovsk, they are strengthening their position to take all of Donetsk, and that puts them in a very, very strong position militarily.
Our top focus in News Point right now. Kyiv has again reported that Russia is hitting Ukrainian targets with its powerful Iskander missiles, first used by Russia in 2008 against Georgia. The missile has become one of the most effective weapons for the Russian side in its ongoing war with Ukraine. Russia claims that these missiles are unique and no Western country can make it before the year 2025. Well, let's find out more about the Iskander missiles used by Russia. Now, the 9K720 Iskander is a Russian short-range ballistic missile. The missile uses single-stage solid propellant. It was first manufactured in the 1970s to replace the Scud-B. But the program was accelerated to replace the SS-23 Spider, which Moscow retired in 1988 because of restrictions mandated by the Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty. It can, however, carry conventional and nuclear warheads. It can also include cluster warheads, fuel-air explosives and bunker busters, and also electromagnetic pulse warheads. The missiles can travel up to 7 times the speed of sound and can also reach an altitude of more than 30 miles. The variant for the Russian armed forces comes with a confirmed range of around 400 to around 500 kilometers. Apart from that, the missile is said to have launch weight of 3,800 to 4,000 kg. That's the launch weight of the Iskander missile. The Iskander series is said to be named after Alexander the Great. Well, the word Iskander here means protector of men. Like I mentioned, the missile was named after Alexander the Great, and it clearly means protector of men. Apart from Iskander, the missile, also known by other names, includes Stone and Tender. NATO calls it the SS-26 Stone. That's the name given by NATO. Apart from Iskander M, there are 2 other versions of the missile. Number 1 is the Iskander K for Kratalia or winged. And the other version is Iskander E or export, which means the export version. Well, this was all about Russia's Iskander missile.